What's happening, Saints fans? Hope y'all are having a wonderful day. In today's show, we're going to be diving into the latest Saints rumors. And then on top of that, by latest Saints rumors, I mean something that I think could be a rumor and maybe make some sense. On top of that, we're also going to dive into a subscriber mailbag where we're answering questions from our subscribers. So if you haven't already and you want to be featured in a future video, make sure you hit that sub button. But also, if I miss your question or if you're just like, man, I can't make all the live shows on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Central Time, but I do have questions, and I do want to chop it up, and I want to talk about the Saints. All three of these social media platforms you can find me at. The links are going to be in the comments and description of this video, so feel free to hit me up. Send me a DM. I'm not one of those guys who's too cool to respond, so I'd love to chop it up with you one of these days. Hit me up on social media if you want to talk about some Saints football. So today's rumor, let's talk about it. Should the New Orleans Saints sign Leonard Fournette? Yeah, we're talking playoff Lenny, baby. So in terms of why we're talking Leonard Fournette, well, the running backs for New Orleans, they're kind of beat up right now. Alvin Kamara dealing with a slight injury, nothing to be too concerned about. So I think he'll be fine. Jamal Williams, he's going to be all right this year. I think he should have a better season than last year. But Kendre Miller especially is a player that has not quite lived up to expectations because he's been dealing with injuries throughout his short NFL career. And at first, it was an ankle injury, and now it's a hamstring injury. And at the end of the day, Kendre Miller just needs to get healthy. Dennis Allen has said it himself. He wants to see Kendre Miller get healthy. He wants to see him on the field, and he knows that he's talented. But Dennis Allen's not necessarily sure that Kendre Miller can learn the system, and it's very important for Kendre Miller to be there right now because they're installing an entirely new offense. So for him to be missing time, it's not good for the young running back out of TCU. I really want to see him get healthy because I like Kendre Miller and I like his abilities. But again, all of those don't matter because the best ability is availability. Now let's go back to Leonard Fournette here. With playoff Lenny, if you guys didn't know, he played with the Bills last year for 2 games. Only 12 carries for 40 yards, didn't really do anything through the on the ground, had no stats through the air. But in 2022, it was his last season with the Buccaneers. He had 668 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also found the end zone 3 times through the air. And in 2021, 10 total touchdowns. He had over 1,000 all-purpose yards. And then in 2020, 6 touchdowns on the ground, 0 through the air. And for him, this could be an interesting homecoming. He played with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He went to LSU. Like, this could be a really cool homecoming addition. But my whole thing with Leonard Fournette is I'm not necessarily sure that he would beat Jamal Williams. Because to me, Jamal Williams is doing what Leonard Fournette would do. But for Leonard Fournette, I think that he could possibly be a good insurance policy if Kendre Miller can't go. And if you're not confident in Jordan Mims, which it seems like the Saints coaching staff does like what they're seeing from Jordan Mims and James Robinson. And I think even Jacob Kabodi had some good run in the preseason as well. But I'm not necessarily sure that Leonard Fournette would beat out Jamal Williams. And I think that they would have the similar roles in terms of what they would do for the Saints offense. So get in the comment section for me. And pick a running back, but I guess pick 2. Because you're going to have 2 of these guys on the roster, or one of these 2 on the roster, maybe both of them. But would you rather have Leonard Fournette over Kendre Miller? Would you have Leonard Fournette over Jamal Williams? Or would you rather have, one of these over Leonard Fournette? I just need you to pick a running back and honestly pick 2 of them because one of these is the odd man out. So let me know what you think down in the comment section. I strongly think that most people are going to say Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller, but I'll be interested to see if anybody says Leonard Fournette. Now, coming up next, we got questions from our subscribers. So, friendly reminder, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that big red sub button for daily Saints videos, live shows multiple times a week, and so that way you can be a part of our next mailbag where thousands of Saints fans watch our videos, and your question, your picture, and your name gets to pop up right next to me. But I got to say, shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. Prize Picks is my favorite daily fantasy sports app, and it's the #1 DFS app in North America for a really good reason. It's so easy. You win real money in real time. And to be honest, it helps me lock in for sporting events that maybe I'm not as interested in. Like, I like watching baseball, but sometimes it's tough for me to get through some of these MLB games. Sometimes it's hard for me in the NBA season to lock in throughout the whole year. And they have season-long projections. They have game projections. And they have all sorts of cool stuff. So if you download Prize Picks and you use our promo code CLNS, you'll get a $100 deposit match. And on top of that, Prize Picks is so fun. You just pick 2 or more players. You choose more or less based on a projected stat line. And then voila, you're winning real money in real time. I have been using Prize Picks since I was in college. It helped me have a little extra beer money. I was 21. But they also helped me, get some groceries, get some gas. It was a really fun way for me to talk about sports, learn more about sports, and also make some money while I was doing it. So download Prize Picks, use our promo code CLNS, and you'll get a $100 deposit match when you download the Prize Picks today. Friendly reminder, use code CLNS on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, run your game. So Queen Courtney, first question in our subscriber mailbag. Shout out to her. Fun fact, so we have this Saints helmet that we're putting stickers on for all of our supporters here. Queen Courtney and King Mason, her husband right there at the bottom of our helmet, they're the base layer because they're setting the foundation for success here. What are the odds Derek Carr plays at an MVP level season? Or MVP level this season? I'm not going to say they're high. Could he be better than last year? Absolutely. But MVP, we're talking 5,000 plus yards, 30, 40 touchdowns. Maybe you can get some of that. You can get close to it, but I don't think we're going to get MVP level Derek Carr, especially considering how weak the offensive line is, in my opinion. So with him, I would love to see it for the record. I would like to see Derek Carr succeed. But I'm not necessarily sold that the offensive line is going to give him the ability to succeed at the highest possible level. But Queen Courtney, thank you for your question. Another real one, Mikey Taylor. Should the Saints bring in Hunter Renfrow? I'm good, man. I'm going to be honest. I'll pass on Hunter Renfrow. And it's nothing against him. It's just, I don't, like the whole argument to sign Hunter Renfrow is like, well, he had a really good connection with Carr a few years ago. Well, yeah, that was a couple of years ago. And to be quite honest, I am not really in the camp of let's pay players based on production they had a few years ago. Or let's pay players based on how good they were, a few seasons back. If they signed him, I wouldn't be upset about it. I would hope it's a cheap contract, but I'm not going to be fishing to go and get Hunter Renfrow. Dylan, what's going on, my man? Do you think Rico Payton makes the roster, and will the Saints get more than 25 touchdown passes? Yes, I do believe Rico Payton will make the roster. He has been one of the most impressive UDFAs this entire summer. He's been really, really good in the preseason. He was the second highest graded rookie according to PFF in preseason week 1. Had a good game against the San Francisco 49ers. I think Rico Payton is doing a lot to make the roster, and I think that he has a good chance to make it. Will the Saints get more than 25 touchdown passes? Yeah, I'm going to say yes. I think year – what is it? It feels like it's been forever. It feels like it's still so early into Chris Olave's career. Year 3 of Chris Olave, you get – where's it? I don't even – you get Chris Olave after another year. I'm sorry, I'm just brain dead right now. You get Chris Olave. You get another year of Rashid Shaheed. You get Taysom Hill a little bit more action, make him a little bit bigger factor in the passing game maybe, or in the receiving game maybe. I think that 25 touchdowns is definitely something that's doable. All right, Nico Canada, $10 super chat. What's up, my man? Fun fact, on our helmet, we have Nico and his whole family right here. So we got Nico, his beautiful daughter, and his beautiful wife all here on the helmet. Nico, it's a joke, but would you play Taysom Hill over Penning at right tackle? No, I wouldn't, but I'd think about it. I would think about it. It seems like Taysom Hill can literally do anything, and the willingness to do anything to help the team, that is 100% there. So I would love to see him, have another good season, but at the end of the day, I also want to see Trevor Penning just put it all together and figure it out. It's been a frustrating start to his career. CISO Sporty, would you rather sign JuJu or Mike Thomas? Can I opt to save the money? I would rather opt to save money. But if I had to pick, give me Mike. JuJu hasn't been good for a few years. Mike hasn't been great either, but Mike's been injured. To be honest, I don't follow enough with JuJu Smith-Schuster. I think he's more of a distraction than anything. I don't need him coming down and filming TikToks and acting a fool before games because, quite frankly, this team needs no distractions. That's why I'm like, I'd rather pick neither of them because I think bringing Michael Thomas back could be a distraction, but If I had to, gun to my head, if I had to pick one of the two, bring me back Mike. Steve Austin, odds on signing David Bahktiari. I mean, maybe. I think that the Saints understand that they are in need of better offensive line play, especially at the tackle position. And I wouldn't put it past them to say that they've made calls. I can't say that they have. There's no sources, there's no reports of that being the case. But I mean, we also know that NFL owners aren't idiots, and GMs aren't dumb. So I would assume that they've already been making some phone calls with David Bakhtiari. I'm just his last good season, Seeps, was 2 years ago. He's been, if that, he's been injury ridden the last 2 seasons. And he got surgery, and the whole argument or the whole thought is that this surgery would be the last surgery and he should be good. But, man, I just think the best bet is having Trevor Penning figure it out. And I'm not sure that will happen, so it makes me nervous. But I also would say maybe hold off to see who gets who becomes available at roster cutdown day, because there could be some surprising names there. And maybe even a guy that you could trade for. Who knows? Does Jake Haener beat out Rattler for QB2? I still don't know, man. I'm going to be honest. I think if they had to pick right now, they're going to go Jake Haener as QB2. But we still have a whole another preseason game. We have a few more weeks of practice. And this is not me like trying to say, oh, I want Spencer Rattler over Jake Haener and I like Rattler over Haener. I really like both players. But I do think Haener and the amount of experience he has in the NFL does mean something. But for Rattler, the appeal there is that the current offensive coaching staff is the one that drafted him, not Haener. So, different OC, different QB coach for who drafted each player. So, it's a tough decision for me, and I know it's a very tough decision for Dennis Allen and Clint Kubiak. But also, I will say it's, more so for me, like this will kind of just be the indicator who the QB2 is. Who do they like right now for the future? And they could go the route of they make Haener the future, so that way he could get run if Carr gets hurt, and that way Rattler stays healthy and he just develops. Or maybe it's the other way around where they like Haener more and they just want him to be the QB2. I don't know. It's a tough decision for me to make. I couldn't imagine having to make it as an NFL coach right now. So I'm even talking myself into circles. So, Mikey, I wish I didn't say I don't know, but if I had to pick somebody right now, I'm going to say Jake Haener is QB2. But, guys, thank you so much for watching today's mailbag. Again, friendly reminder, if you want to be a part of the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications. That way you know when we go live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. and 1 hour before kickoff every single game day. Saints fans, I had a blast talking and chopping it up with you. Y'all stay golden. See you next time.